Paid communities are the best way to monetize in 2024. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the 7 steps to turn your audience into paying customers through paid communities. And you might be asking, well, who are you and why should I listen to you? And that's a great question. So I'm Austin, and I help creators and coaches build paid communities and online courses. And just earlier this year, I took a creator and we created a community that went from 0 to 6 figures per year in less than 90 days. And I did this while I was still working a full-time job. So this video, I'm gonna break down the steps that we took so that you can take these steps and you can go and implement them into your next launch. So let's go ahead and dive in. Step number 1 is to know your audience. What is their morning routine? What is their evening routine? What do they love? What do they hate? What are their goals and what's stopping them from achieving their goals? Understanding these things about a person will really help you craft an offer for them that solves a bunch of their problems. When you understand the language that your audience uses, you can reverberate that across all of your marketing assets. Things like your landing pages, your sales pages, your video sales letters, your funnel, and the copywriting and the communication that you make to your audience echoes what they're saying their problems are. And when somebody reads something that they feel like they can relate to, they feel like they're being understood. And that actually builds trust, it builds rapport. And so when somebody feels understood through a sales page or a landing page, they have a lot more likelihood of buying that thing. The second reason you want to know your audience is because you want to know all of the problems that this audience faces so that you can come up with a solution within your community, within your course to actually solve their problems. Step number 2 is to create an offer. So an offer is simply a vehicle that transforms your audience from their current state to their desired state. An offer is a solution to somebody's problems. So you can look at things like in the wealth market. Typically, a customer's desire in the wealth market is to get to a rich state. So your offer would actually take them from a poor state or a state of not having money to a state of having money. But that's extremely broad, right? You can also go into sub-markets and niche down. So within the wealth market, there's also personal finance. And within personal finance, there's things like credit. There's things like debt. There's things like saving. So one example of an offer could be that you're taking somebody from a bad credit score to a good credit score, and your offer is the solution to make that transformation. And what's cool is the internet is so huge that you can find customers who have these current and desired states in very small sub-niches. Number 3 is driving traffic. So once you understand your customer, you create an offer that solves their problems, that transforms their state from their current state to their desired state. You want to find those customers out on the internet. You want to drive them to your offer through traffic. Now, this is going to be running paid ads, so you can pay Meta or Google to put an ad in front of the customers, or you can do what a lot of creators are doing, which is running organic content. Now, organic content takes a long time to build a repository of content, takes a long time to build trust in an audience, and it also takes a long time to get good at it. And that's actually what I'm doing right now is I'm building up a repository on my YouTube channel so that long term people can see that I'm an authority on product launches, on community launches, on courses launches, and they will come to my offer. Now, the other option, paid ads, is a lot more expensive because you're actually paying per click and paying for the eyeballs that you're getting in front of. And it also takes a little bit of complex knowledge in order to run paid ads efficiently. And initially in paid ads, you won't have a high return on your investment. And so it takes a little bit of time, a little bit of complexity, and you have to actually know what you're doing in order to make these paid ads profitable. So this is why I've actually built my whole business model around partnering with creators who already have an existing audience and just need help converting that audience into paying customers, which is what I specialize in. Now, the 4th step is actually differentiation. There are thousands of different opportunities that other people could vouch for. So you really need to think what makes you special, what makes you unique, what are your unique selling points, and why would somebody come and join you in your community versus, Sam and his community. And I don't know why I said Sam, just a name that popped in my head. In order to differentiate your offer, what I like to do is I like to have a very clear understanding of the competitive landscape that I'm playing in. And what I do is I create a competitor swipe file that shows, okay, who is in my target market niche? What are their brands? How are they differentiating themselves? What are their strengths and weaknesses? Are they appealing to the same target demographic, same target market that I am? Or is it something a little bit different? I recently saw a community, I think it's called Captivate Freedom, but it's a community that is a done-for-you agency type of service within the community. And they build sales pages, they build funnels, but their community was super bright. It's super colorful. It had kind of this charismatic leader. His name is Goose, and it's fun, and they use GIFs, and that's not typically something that is paired with like a marketing agency service. And so that brand of the rainbow colors, of the fun, people are attracted to that, and people want to join something, and it's like a fresh of breath air in a market that's stale. So you want to think about how can you use colors and designs and your values and your operating systems and your overall messaging to actually separate yourself from the thousands and thousands of other communities that people could join. So after you have your audience nailed down, you have your offer, you have your traffic coming in, and you have differentiated your brand and came up with at least 3 unique selling points, what you can do is actually create an MVC, or minimum viable community, and you can pre-sell your community. So step number 5 is pre-selling, and I see creators make this mistake all the time. They essentially spend months or even years like in a dark room building something, working away, twiddling away. But the problem is they'll launch this thing out into the market and then nobody will buy it because they actually haven't verified that the thing that they're building, the market wants. And the most important thing is building something that the market wants. And so instead of spending months or years building something, what you actually want to do is you want to verify that your offer is valid, that people want it, and you want to get market data. And you can do this through actually pre-selling your offer. And there's a few different unique things that you can do. So one thing that you could do is essentially have a paid wait list. So if you have a wait list with your offer on there, with your messaging on there, and your brand on there, and people pay to wait to get on the wait list so that they can be the first to know about your offer, that is the market verifying with dollars, which is the most important thing, that your offer is somewhat valid. And that's another thing is, along the way, while you're building this product, while you're building this community, while you're building this offer, you want to have data at each steps of the way. So if you have a wait list, you can tell how many people have signed up to this wait list. If you have a paid wait list, you can say how many people have paid for this offer on the wait list. And then when you have an actual sales page, you want to drive people to that sales page and convert them and then give them the minimum viable community. And that can be things like, just a few pre-recorded content. You can have some coaching calls, but you don't want to spend a ton of time and effort and energy building something on the back end while you're not launching, you're not getting any market data, etc. So pre-selling is the 5th step. Now, number 6, building community. What makes a good community, right? I've been a part of a ton of communities. A lot of them have flopped. A lot of them have succeeded. But what I found is there are a few factors that make a great community. One is a very strong leader, right? You look at some of the best communities in the world, and you can analyze them and really break them down to understand what makes a good community. So one of the strongest, most prolific, best communities in the world is actually Christianity, which revolves around Jesus. And Jesus is the leader that is taking that community to their desired state, which is nirvana, which is heaven. And I also like to think of the Bible like the courses within the community. So he is preaching, he is teaching, and he is leading people to that desired state that we talked about in the offer. Now, the best communities that I've been a part of, I've joined and I've gotten some kind of immediate value where I'm like, wow, this, excuse me, this is an awesome community. And the leader will generally take care of you. And I feel like I'm being heard. And so if I have a question and I put it, up in the community post and somebody answers it, it feels good that somebody is paying attention to you and answering your questions. So what I found is the best communities really make people feel like they're being taken care of, and they're proactive in helping people, with their questions. If they have problems, they're there for them to troubleshoot. And that's actually how you build something that's super valuable. And so that's really what you want to do when you're building your community in terms of customer service, customer support. And finally, step number 7, I'll have to put it off on the side here, delivery, right? So the reason that I like communities so much is because they use the highest form of leverage in their delivery mechanisms. And that's going to be do it yourself, which are things like pre-recorded content that can come in the form of Looms. They can come in the form of actual teaching sessions. So I've seen people just use Google Docs and scroll through these Google Docs and teach key points. And it also comes in the forms of templates and worksheets and tools. So you can have things like, email templates, you can have budgeting tools, you can have AI scripts, AI worksheets. And these are all forms of do-it-yourself where the customer will come into the community and they'll actually have to spend their own time in order to figure some of these things out. The other form of leverage that communities use in terms of their delivery vehicle is done with you. And this is things like coaching and consulting. And these can be in the form of live question and answer calls. They can have like a group coaching hot seats. They can have like just coffee hours where you're sitting down and just talking to your community. And these are really low effort ways where you can actually just take your existing knowledge, hop on a Zoom call with a group of people and add value very easily with little preparation, with little time. And that adds a ton of value, particularly when you're an expert in your own industry. There are a few things within the communities, like in the do-it-yourself, you have courses, right? So people will go through these pre-recorded content and courses, but you want to keep your members for as long as possible. You want to retain your members. And there are a lot of clever ways that I've seen in the market that people are doing this. So one of the clever ways is you can use a credit system, essentially. This is similar to Audible. Audible, they deliver audiobooks, and every single month they give you a credit so that you can purchase a new Audible, or you can purchase a new audiobook. So you want to stay on the app so you continue to get those credits and you can continue to consume those books. And you can do the same thing with your community. You can have different courses and every month give somebody a credit that unlocks a new course. And so then if they leave the community, they feel like, oh man, there's all these courses. All I would have needed to do is stay a little bit longer. You can also have shared resources, so things like virtual assistants that the community can use as long as they stay in. So that really keeps them in there because it's a resource that when they leave, the resource is taken away. So in summary, the 7 steps to build an insanely profitable online course and community is 1, know your audience. 2, create an irresistible offer. 3, get traffic from different sources. 4, differentiate your offer, differentiate your brand, your messaging. 5, pre-sell your community or course. 6, build a community that feels taken care of. And 7, deliver through these highly leveraged delivery mechanisms. So that's it for today. These are the 7 steps that we used to build an insanely profitable course and community. I talk a lot about this in my newsletter. I send out a weekly newsletter every Friday where I'm going deep into each of these subjects. I also love marketing. I love products. I love creators, and I love the info product space. So I'm going to be breaking down exactly how I'm launching my own courses and communities, how I'm partnering with creators to launch their courses and communities. So I will put a link in the description below so that you can follow along and learn something. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.